Hey everybody, Parallel here. There was some big news in Star Trek Online today. First up, we got the announcement of Age of Discovery. This is a new season question mark? Expansion question mark? I'm not sure what it is, but it is definitely some new content that we're going to be getting that is centered around the Discovery TV series. So this looks very exciting. And also, we even got an announcement that there is going to be a new executive producer for Star Trek Online, which is another pretty big change. So, what I thought I'd do in this video is go through these announcements and have a little bit of discussion about what information we can get from this blog post that was made for the announcement today. There was a short trailer that was posted as well. And talk about what we know and what we don't know so far, just based on this initial release of information about Age of Discovery. So first of all, what I'd like to do is, I guess, read through this blog post and figure out exactly, what we can glean from this and what information is confirmed. And then we'll have a little discussion at the end about some speculation and what might be happening. While that is going on, while I'm going to be reading that, I will be showing here on the screen just a little bit of eye candy regarding the new visual rework of the Excelsior. And as you can see, it is looking fantastic. So rather than looking at a little wall of text here while I read through the blog post, you can enjoy the awesome looking new Excelsior model. It looks great. And I have to say, man, look at the detail even on the shuttle bay there. It has a lot of depth to it. It is looking fantastic, and all I can say is thank you to the Cryptic artists for doing these Starship model reworks. The previous one with the Jem'Hadar Dreadnought carrier was awesome in every way, and really enjoyed that. And this Excelsior, wow, it looks great. I mean, you can see the torpedo tubes. I mean, it looks really accurate to the movie. So yeah, very, very impressive, Cryptic. Thank you very much for the new Excelsior. All right, so let's go through this blog post for Age of Discovery here. And another quick disclaimer before I get into it. Believe it or not, a little bit of confession time here. I have not seen any episodes of Star Trek Discovery at all, period. It's not that I don't like the show. I just haven't seen it yet. I do want to see it. The problem is that it is locked behind CBS All Access. And I have just refused to subscribe to that because I think it's kind of a unfortunate waste of money to have to subscribe to this whole service just for one particular show. And it's not a particular business model that I want to encourage companies to go for these streaming services. But given that this announcement for Age of Discovery, I may just have to bite the bullet and subscribe, because now I'm really going to have to see Star Trek Discovery to know what's going to be going on with Star Trek Online. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that up front because just in case I mispronounce any of the characters or names in this blog post, I've never actually heard them pronounced because I haven't watched the show. I'm actually not familiar with any of these characters, and I've been trying to avoid spoilers as much as possible. I was just really hoping that maybe when the first season was done, it would be posted somewhere else, like Netflix or something, and I'd be able to get access to it. But it still seems to be locked behind CBS. So. All right, so let's get into it here. So here is the blog post. Okay, Star Trek Online is about to take you into the world of the latest Star Trek TV series, Star Trek Discovery, this fall on PC, and soon after on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Captains will take the first step on a continuing journey to 2256 in the height of the Klingon War. For the very first time in Stowe's history, we'll be updating the game in line with the currently airing Star Trek series. Here's what to expect from Star Trek Online Age of Discovery. Age of Discovery opens in the year 2256, just after the battle at the Binary Stars, in the wake of a brutal war against the Klingons. Starfleet captains must face Jula, matriarch of the House of Mokai and sister of Takuvma, who seeks to alter the destiny of the Alpha Quadrant. Players will need to rely on the help of fellow Starfleet Academy cadet Sylvia Tilly, played by Discovery actress Mary Wiseman, who has come to assist with the training and see them off on their first assignment. From there, they will journey to the iconic locations from Star Trek Discovery, like the dilithium mines of Korvan 2, explore the new experimental Crossfield-class starship, the USS Glenn, and defend Starbase 1 from a fearsome attack by the Klingon House of Dagor. Okay, so then there's an image there of Cadet Tilly, so that's cool. And then, so the first installment from Age of Discovery will introduce a reimagined starting experience that allows players to create a Federation character from the Discovery era. The update also includes 2 new episodes for Starfleet Academy cadets, a new task force operation to defend Starbase 1, and new reputations that expand the game's reputation system to Tier 6 and unlock powerful new rewards. Additional details to be announced when Age of Discovery launches later this year. Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery is now available on CBS All Access. Of course, they had to throw an ad in the end there. And like I said, I do really want to watch the show, but I can't bring myself to subscribe to CBS All Access. But with this announcement, I may just have to do it. Hopefully it's worth it. All right, so that is the whole announcement. Not a whole lot of detail there, but there's a few things we can get from this. So let's go through what we know here. So what do we know from this announcement? What can we say is confirmed here? So, and also there was a trailer they posted, a little teaser trailer at best. It didn't have like any details at all. It was just you can watch it on YouTube on Cryptic's channel. It was just a very short scene with a Crossfield class ship meeting up against some, or facing up against some Klingons, the sarcophagus. So not a whole lot of detail there either, but it was a pretty cool looking little teaser trailer. But what do we know? Okay, so first off, we know that it's going to be released in the fall on PC, so that is something. It's still a ways away, although not too far, as we're kind of in the middle of summer now. But that's still several months away, and well, I guess maybe we should talk about this in the speculation era, but that means, I'm wondering if that means there's not going to be any content between now and then, which could be a downside, but let's just keep going here with what else can we confirm, at least from the announcement here. Now, given that we just had the Gamma Quadrant expansion, and this new content, this Age of Discovery coming so soon after, it doesn't seem like this is going to be a full expansion. And my guess is this will be... It's hard to say exactly what it is. Is this going to be sort of like a large season or a small expansion? Who knows? But I just can't see it being an expansion based on how recent it was after previous one. Usually expansions are several years apart. Oh, that's cool. The docking bay doors on Earth Space Dock there just opened up. That's pretty cool. So what else? We do know a little bit about the content. So they did mention that it was going to feature some locations from the show, and it's going to have the Cadet Tilly is going to be featured, and probably they will be getting the voice actor who is Mary Wiseman. That's awesome. It's always great to get the voice actors from the show. That really worked out well for the Deep Space Nine episodes and really gave it that authentic feel. So that was great. And it also it made us a very odd mention here. So I don't know if you caught this as well, but it says specifically that you are going to, quote, explore the Crossfield class starship. You're not going to fly the Crossfield class. You're going to explore the Crossfield class. So my guess is that they're not going to be giving away a free Crossfield to everyone if you start out with this, start out as a Discovery character. My guess is it'll probably just be a episode where maybe you'll get to see the interior of the ship or something along those lines, just to I guess, to tantalize you into actually purchasing the crossfield from the lockbox. I have to admit that there was a few episodes, they've done this previously, right? Cryptic's done this with other reworks they've done, like with the Voyager interior, and in particular the Enterprise, the Next Generation interior that was done. That was featured in a few episodes as well, and that was absolutely fantastic. Definitely made me want to buy that the Next Generation interior for the Enterprise. I haven't done it yet, but I'm still considering it because it is absolutely fantastic. My guess will be something similar for the crossfield. Maybe they'll let you control the crossfield in a particular mission, where they give you like a pre-fit vessel that you can fly around. They've done that in previous episodes. So that may happen as well. They just did that recently with the Zenkethi ship that you had to fly around in that one flashback episode with Nethpar. So that was pretty cool. My guess is it'll be something along those lines, though. They also mentioned later in the blog post about, so they mentioned this is the, quote, first installment from the Age of Discovery. So the content that we're getting in the fall is likely, saying this is the first installment is implying that there are going to be multiple installments of this Age of Discovery in the future. And this can lead to some interesting speculation. Maybe this is a new way of them, Cryptic, actually delivering content in the future. Instead of seasons, will they have just episodes of Discovery, Age of Discovery coming out? Who knows? Or will these be alongside of seasons? Who knows? We'll have to find out. But I have to wait and see on that one. Another thing they mentioned is that, and this has more direct impact on the gameplay of the game, but this is going to be a new starting experience for Federation characters. That makes me think this is going to be like a new mini faction, and the best comparison I can think of is that this would be something very similar to Agents of Yesterday, where you could start out as a 23rd century character in the original series. This would be something right along those same kind of lines, perhaps, as where you'll have a separate timeline you'll be in for the initial part of the faction, and then you'll be brought back into Star Trek Online proper, in the 2400s after you go through some kind of a time warp or something. So again, that's all that part speculation, but it did specifically mention that there will be a new starting experience for Federation characters. So again, this sounds like something will be only for Federation, and it will be a new, either a starting zone or another mini faction that we'll be getting. It also says there is going to be a new task force, which my guess is that sounds like another PvE queue. And there's also going to be new reputations. Now this one I have to think about this for a minute here, because it says they're going to be quote, expanding the game's reputation system to tier 6. That has some pretty significant implications, and it also says there is going to be a new reputation, so there'll probably be a Star Trek Discovery based reputation, and expanding the whole reputation system to tier 6. Now that has some really big implications, because as you can see here, guys, how many reputations are we up to here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 reputations. And with the Discovery now, there's going to be 13 reputations. If they go back and add a tier 6 to all of these reputations, that is going to be a huge amount of grind. I'm not going to lie here, guys. That is a lot of grind. So I'm hoping that when they say they're going to, quote, enhance this reputation system to tier 6, means they're actually going to do something where it's going to reduce the grind, or I don't know what they're going to do. Can you imagine having all of a sudden 13 reputations that you have to grind through again? That will be quite painful. But it does say they will have good new rewards, so at least there will be some motivation to do so. If the tier 6 rewards are incredibly amazing, then it might be enough motivation to do it. But definitely a double-edged sword there. I mean, I do enjoy new content and having new upgrades. That's always fun to get. But wow, I mean, going back and grinding 13 reputations to tier 6, can't say I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully Cryptic has some trick up their sleeve to make that a little more palatable, or to revamp the system a little bit to make it more friendly. At least if you've grinded it on one character, maybe reduced it on others, maybe an enhanced form of the new officer. What is it called? Sponsorship. Yeah, the new officer sponsorship token. Some like an enhanced one or something along those lines. Who knows? But so they did mention that. So that is about all the information I could extract from the blog post. Please let me know in the comments down below if you were able to find anything in that blog post that I missed, or if there's anything else that's been announced. I've been looking on Reddit. I haven't seen any other details yet, so still just a lot of speculation and unknowns so far. So yeah, so that is what we know, and so let's just follow up here. If there's any other speculations, I mean, what do you guys think this is going to be? Is it is this going to replace how they're doing season releases now? Is it going to be like just episodes of Age of Discovery, or you think it's going to be alongside seasons? How is this new player faction going to be implemented? Is it going to be just you're going to join the Federation faction and there's going to be a new tutorial and that's going to be it? Or do you think it's going to be like Agents of Yesterday, where there's going to be a couple tutorial missions, then you're going to go through some kind of a time warp to get back to the current time in Star Trek Online? Yeah, who knows? And what do you guys think of this reputation change? Do you think they're going to actually overhaul the system to make it a little more user-friendly, or a little less grindy to get to tier 6 and all these existing reputations? Because there's just so many reputations now. Or maybe have like one universal token that you can apply to any reputation, rather than having to specifically target different reputation tokens. That might be a nice change. And here's the big question, guys. Does this mean there's no content at all until this comes out? So is this really the kind of the announcement of the next bit of content we're going to be getting? And, as excited as I am about getting some Discovery content, that means there's going to be a really big content drought. And I'd even say we're in a content drought a little bit now, just because it's been 2 months now since the Gamma Quadrant expansion, which, don't get me wrong, was a good expansion. I really enjoyed the episodes. And I've been having fun with my Jem'Hadar character and the new, the Jem'Hadar recruitment. So I can't say I'm not enjoying it, but I've now 2 months in, I've done the Swarm queue dozens and dozens of times. I've done the Gamma Quadrant battle zone dozens of times. It is definitely starting to wear thin, and I would be welcome to some new content. And if we're not getting anything to the fall, then it's going to be a slow next couple of months. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers my speculation, guys. Like I said, please let me know in the comments. What do you guys think of this announcement? And how do you think it's going to impact the game? Are you a fan of Discovery? Do you like that this is being added into Star Trek Online? What I'll just say in conclusion along that topic there is that I do think this is good for Star Trek Online. And as I mentioned, I haven't even seen Discovery, so I don't even know if I like the show yet or not. But I have to say, this is good for Star Trek Online, because this means that they are still actively pursuing the franchise with CBS. They still have a good relationship with CBS. They're getting all the new, all the new IP from Discovery is being brought into the game. And just overall, just from a state of the game, I think it is a positive change. I think even if you're someone who maybe doesn't like Star Trek Discovery, you still have to admit that it's good for the game to be getting new content and be staying current with the Star Trek franchise as a whole. This Star Trek Online is a franchise-based game, right? A lot of I think its main lure is the fact that it is licensed Star Trek Online, and you get all of the authentic material from the TV shows. So that is the big draw of the game, and it needs to stay current and just to be authentic and to have that draw for Star Trek fans. So even even if you're not a fan of Discovery, I still think this is a good change and good progress for Star Trek Online. Uh, and I kind of felt the same way about when they added the Kelvin timeline content back with the Kelvin timeline box, lockbox. I have to say, I said the same thing back then. It's like, even if you're not a huge fan of JJ Trek or, all the Kelvin on timeline ships, it's still good for the game. It still means that it's, keeping current and it's keeping up with the IP. So I think that's all good stuff. So I have a very good positive reaction to this announcement, other than the few downsides I mentioned with, otherwise lack of content. But this looks like it could be, have huge potential. And, it has great potential to maybe bring in some new players to Star Trek Online if they are fans of Discovery. It'd get them right into the game. Think of how enjoyable it would be. If you're a fan of Star Trek, Discovery, the series, you come right in the tutorial right away. You're meeting Cadet Tilly, a character you're familiar from the show, and you get right into it. That would be a huge draw. So I have to say this is a good thing. And yeah, hopefully it'll help bring some more players into the game. All right, so I think that covers that announcement. I did just want to quickly also mention there was the other announcement of the change of executive producer. So this was pretty significant. So that means that the current producer, Stephen Ricossa, is going to be leaving Star Trek Online. Although based on the announcement, it sounds like he's still staying with Cryptic. It just had another role within Cryptic. And so that is... yeah, that's kind of sad. I have to admit, I'm a little bit saddened to see Salami Inferno go. I have to say, he has brought a lot of great content to Star Trek Online. I really enjoyed the Iconian story arc. There were some great highlights. The Agents of Yesterday was fantastic, and also the Gamma Quadrant, the DS9 revamp was awesome. So I have to say, he's been helming Star Trek Online through some really great content additions. There, not everything has been perfect. There have been a lot of content droughts and some changes, like Season 13, that I wasn't a huge fan of. But overall, it has been a very enjoyable experience. And all I could say is to Stephen Ricossa, good luck to you in your future endeavors, and thank you very much for all of the wonderful content you brought to Star Trek Online. Some really great highlights that have kept me engrossed in the game for the last 3 years. So that is great. And then the replacement for the new executive producer is going to be Andre Emerson. And there was not a whole lot of detail in the blog post regarding his regarding his vision for the game. But it sounds like he has been at Cryptic for the last 6 months, sort of working on the transition, so hopefully he's familiar with everything. He does sound like a huge Star Trek fan. In fact, in his blog post, one thing that he did mention was he felt it was a great opportunity that this is going to be the first time where Star Trek Online, the game, is going to be developed alongside a currently running TV series in Discovery. And he's actually right about that. It's kind of strange, but Star Trek Online kind of came about after all of the TV shows were done. So it is actually a pretty unique opportunity that hasn't presented itself yet to Star Trek Online. So we'll have to see how this goes. It almost gives me kind of the vibe of like what, I don't know if you were familiar with the game Defiance, but that also tried to do that a similar sort of arrangement with Sci-Fi with their Defiance TV show, TV series, and the Defiance MMO, kind of third-person shooter MMO. That wasn't very successful. The Defiance IP is obviously nowhere near as strong as Star Trek, so hopefully Star Trek will have better luck with Discovery here. So I think that pretty much covers the announcements, guys. What do you guys think? You looking forward to Discovery? You looking forward to this new content we're going to be getting? What do you feel about the change in executive producer? Do you think it'll be a major change in Star Trek, or just things will be kind of proceeding here as usual? I mean, obviously, there are a lot of challenges that need to be addressed in Star Trek Online. So I'm kind of curious to see if Andre Emerson will have a different approach than Stephen Ricossa or not. it's kind of uncertain right now. We don't know what's going to be happening. And I guess, yeah, so that pretty much covers the news, guys. Pretty exciting stuff. Some good changes, I think. New content looks good. And yeah, I'll have to bite the bullet here, guys, and subscribe to CBS All Access, and watch the show. Looking forward to it. Oh yeah, and yes, just this Excelsior, the new Excelsior skin, just looks fantastic. I can't stop looking at it. It looks amazing. Almost makes me want to fly an Excelsior, which is unfortunately one of the worst cruisers in the game, stat-wise, but when it looks this good, how can you say no? Man, it looks awesome. Alright guys, but I think that pretty much covers it. Thank you very much for watching, and that's all. Bye for now.